To the Phil Steele Plus Tour with selections up for you for December the 21st. Up for you today, I've got two selections for you, and I'll have them for you in just a minute. Quick recap of last week. 0-1. We actually lost a Service Academy under game. Navy scores 5 touchdowns. They couldn't settle for a field goal there. We would have had a nice play, but still 21-11 now over the last 8 weeks for your tour. And as mentioned, I've got two tour selections for you today. Now, the first one up and available for you, we're going to take a look at the Ohio and Jacksonville State game. This game does go Friday at 12 o'clock noon, so make sure you get in on this one early. But this one's going to be my last 4 weeks AGG play. So we're going to take a look at Jacksonville State here and Ohio here. It's interesting when you look at this matchup that Ohio and Jacksonville State have both lost their head coach. So they're both in the same shape there. Rich Rod has, of course, moved on to West Virginia, and Ohio's head coach, Tim Albin, is over to Charlotte now. But the two teams in similar situations in that respect. Now, when we take a look at the last 4 weeks AGG, and I'm going to pop that up here, I got to be honest with you guys. I have been working so hard on the first write-through of the magazine. As you know, it's a six plus month process to put this magazine out, and I'm doing all the non-bowl teams right now. I read through every single article that was written about them during the whole season. Gets me into a real good flow as far as the team, each position went, how the season went, and then I write, okay, what kind of shape were they heading into last year? What happened last year? What kind of shape are they into this year? Now, I know things are going to change. You got the transfer portal, you got the freshmen, but that's why it's a 3 write-through process. The second write-through I do is in March, which is when the spring rosters come out. All the freshmen have signed. All the transfer portals have mostly signed, and I do it then. And then the third one is after talking to the head coaches. And this past year I talked to 124 of the 134 head coaches, spent about an average of an hour with each one, going over their entire roster, and that's where I firm up the final write-up. But I get all the pre-work out of the way, all this massive reading from last year, and get that complete recap from last year into the write-ups for this year. But I'm hard at work on the first write-through process right now, so I did not get to update the records up here. The records will be updated for you, but the schedule is up for the next 15 games. It is up and available for you, so as you know, to get to the schedule, you just go here. It's called the Schedule Predictor, and when you go to the Schedule Predictor, you just click here. This is if you're in Phil Steele Plus, and it's got the entire season right there for you. So this one is a last 4 weeks play. It's got Ohio by 10, and as you see here, I love the last 4 weeks because it throws out all this stuff that happened. It just tells you what the current form is on the team. And the current form for Ohio is dynamite. They are playing at 110.2 level, outgaining their opponents by 175 yards per game. Now, Jacksonville State delivered for the tour in their last game. Loved that game, didn't you guys? We knew that they sort of mailed it in here and yet almost beat Western Kentucky on the road in a must-win for Western. Then they got them back at home and blew them out, 52-12. Very nice winner for the tour on that one. So I love Jacksonville State in that. They were plus 333 yards in that game. But prior to that, look at this. They only beat FIU by 3, Sam Houston by 10, that Western Kentucky game, and then that one. So they're only playing at a 99 level. So you put the two together, you got Ohio by 10, and Ohio right now is laying 4.5 in this game. So we got Ohio minus 4.5. I got a couple other things on this one. First of all, I use the 247 transfer portal. Look at this. For Ohio, they have no players in the transfer portal. So now we go over here and take a look at Jacksonville State. And if you look at Jacksonville State, they've got some numerous defensive players in the portal that made a big impact this year. 4 or 5 starters on the defensive side are in the portal. So they're not at 100%. Ohio should be at 100% according to the portal tracker, unless Ohio's hiding some portals, but I don't think they are. Ohio also has the better defense. Look at this. Their defense holding opponents at 55 yards per game below, and they're at full strength. Jacksonville State's defense actually allowing foes 29 yards per game above their average, and they're missing some key players. So I like that matchup as well. And then the final thing we'll take a look at is if you go here and take a look at the college ATS logs, we've got we've got NFL logs. And once again, this is the score of the game. This is your total. This is what the line was. And this WL reflects whether they covered the game. So you don't have to look at the spread and add it up. It's all there. And we've got that for the NFL. We've got that for the FCS. Who does FCS logs? Hey, we do. And then we also, of course, have it for the college. And when we take a look at Ohio, you guys know I love streaks. And we got a streak going on here. Ohio has covered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in a row. Let's make it 7 in a row. We're going to take Ohio Bobcats -4.5 over Jacksonville State in this one. And before I get to your next one, let's get a little bit of house cleaning out of here. First of all, the postseason. There are still 4 issues left of Inside the Press Box for the Bowls and 4 for the playoffs. That right there is a $160 value. We just dropped the price from $89 down to $79, and you could take $10 off that with the code word Expert Wins. You just go here. That's the main menu of philsteele.com. You click on the store. When you go to the store, you can get the here's this week's Inside the Press Box, which will be up for you very soon. Here's the postseason. It's dropped to $79. If you want to get Phil Steele Plus at $69. By the way, when you get the postseason, you get Phil Steele Plus included. So if you're thinking about getting Phil Steele Plus through the Super Bowl, just go ahead and get the postseason, and you get Phil Steele Plus through the Super Bowl. And then let's see if we got the VIP. Look at this. We got the VIP orders up for next year for the magazine. Now, remember, we do those on a first-come, first-served basis. So the first guy's in on the VIP, as soon as that magazine's rolling off the press, we're mailing them. And if you want to be in that first day, get your VIP taken care of now. Get your Super VIP bundle taken care of now. It's right there on Phil Steele Plus. So it's all on the store right now. But and the other thing I want to take before we get to your second selection today, and by the way, this was the schedule, but let's take a look at the other thing, and that is for Press Box. Now, last week, Press Box only had 2 best bets. And the Press Box best bets went 2-0. We had the over in the Memphis game. You know how easy that was. And also the FCS best bet was a winner again. The FCS best bets are 4-1 inside the Press Box. So for the season, I think we know the computer's going to win, but it's still a battle. I'm 34-28 on the year. The computer's 36-23. We're in the ballpark here. I got a shot. By the way, the computer wants me to remind you that if I would have let it use all those games it wanted to. Remember, we've put out on the tour here, the computer wanted to use, I wouldn't let it plays. Those went 5-2 this year. 41-25 if I included those games, and the computer did not allow. The computer is on a 52-30 run over the last 24 weeks. This week's issue, by the way, has 13 bowl games for just $15 for you guys. That's only if you use this code. It's $20. But if you use the code word BATTLE24, it's just $15. You also get both FCS playoff games combined, FBS and FCS. There will be 5 best bets in this issue. We only had 2 in issue 1. We got 5 best bets in this issue. So if you want to get those 5 best bets, it takes you all the way through, I believe, December the 26th is when this issue takes you through. It takes you all the way through the Bowling Green game. So the Bowling Green game is December the 26th. So this issue gets you every bowl game, tonight's bowl game, all the way through December 26th. 13 bowls, 2 FCS playoff games, 5 best bets altogether, just $15. Use the code word BATTLE24. All right, let's get to your second game. And we're going to take a look at one of the playoff games. What the heck? Let's go for it. We're going to put Texas on the right. They're at home. And we are going to put Clemson on the left. They are on the road. And for this one, I'm not picking a side, although Dabo Swinney does do really well in the playoffs, and he does really well as a playoff dog. So you got to love all that stuff. But we're going to look at the total in this game. The total is 52, and we're going to go with the under. Now, first of all, let's look at Texas's defense. It's green if it's below 300 yards. A lot of teams don't even have green over here. They've got every game in green except for the Florida game where they allowed 329. So this is a team allowing 250 yards per game. And look at this, number 1 in the country, holding opponents to 134 yards per game per average. And what this number means out here is, here, you see this 240? That means they held Arkansas to 231 yards. Arkansas averages 471 yards when they're not playing Texas. That's how good that was. And look at all these number ones. They've held a lot of teams to season lows this year. So number one in the country, holding opponents to 134 yards below their season average. Now let's look at Clemson. Not as dominant, right? They're holding opponents to 23 yards per game below their season average. But what I want to point out, let's take a look at this NC State game. This score is 52-7. The thing about Dabo Swinney, he plays a lot of third string, fourth string, walk-ons in the fourth quarter when he has a big lead. So it's 52-7. In come the walk-ons. NC State put up 28 points during garbage time, including a touchdown with 5 seconds left. So their defense far better than it showed. Let's go to take a look at another game here. Take a look at Virginia. Virginia trailed this game 41-17. How about 2 touchdowns in the last 2 minutes of the game? And by the way, I'd like to thank collegepressbox.com for allowing me to put these box scores. I go through the play-by-play of every game, and you can go through it right here. Just zip right through, and I do go through the play-by-play of every single game, and when I'm doing my write-ups for the history of the game. And I do that every single week during the year. But that's 2. Take a look at another one. I believe Virginia Tech got a late score here. Yeah, the Hokies scored with 1:43 left in the game. It's 24-7. They drive 75 yards, 13 plays, get a touchdown with 2 minutes left in the game. How about the Citadel? This thing is 42-0. Once again, in come the backups. The Citadel get 2 touchdowns, including this 72-yard drive in the fourth quarter. And then South Carolina, of course, scored late, and SMU, of course, had a big second half. Look at this first half scoring. 6-13. You got the first half on every game here. 7-7-7, 14-10, 17-7, 7-0, 7-7. So when their first string is in, and the starters are, in the first half, they are allowing 8.38 points in the first half. Take away all those garbage points that I just had, they're allowing 16.9 points per game, not 22. And this total, 23, I didn't go through and do the math, but that's probably up near 90 or 100 yards plus below average if you take out the garbage that they do when they bring all those other guys in. And also look at this. Texas, over the last 4 weeks, 20-10, 31-14, 7. Their last 4 weeks average score 22-13, and the total here is 52. So we're going to go with under 52 in the Clemson-Texas game. Now I'll be back with you on December the 26th. I'll have a tour up for you then with all the next slate of bowl games. Make sure you take advantage of this inside the press box. 2-0 in the first press box postseason. We got 5 big best bets, and this one's just $15 if you use that code word. I appreciate you watching this. And I'd like to wish you and yours a very happy and safe holiday, and I'll talk to you on December the 26th. And thanks for taking the Phil Steele Plus tour.